Hi BFC members, my name is Callie Nelson and I'm here today to guide you through a mat Pilates class. I know you're all missing going to the field so much, but I'm so glad and grateful that you are showing up for yourself, even if it's in a virtual world. It is so important that we stay moving in this trying time, not only for our physical health, but also for our mental health. For today's class, all you'll be needing is a mat and your body, and if you would like to play some music in the background that keeps you motivated and energized, feel free. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, to get started, we will start seated on our mat, scooting towards the front of the mat so that you have enough space to lay down all the way. We'll be starting with our legs together, feet flexed, arms coming forward. Taking a big inhale in through the nose, exhale, roll down onto your back slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale to bring your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and slowly roll yourself all the way back up. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, rolling down, one vertebrae at a time. Straight down the center of your spine. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and roll yourself all the way back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Just trying to warm up our spine, get connected to our breathing. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and restack. And we got that 1 more time. Piece by piece, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, arms lift, and an exhale to roll ourselves all the way back up. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, let's roll it down just a quarter of the way. We'll stay here. We're in a nice C curve with that lumbar spine. Start to pump your arms firmly. Breathing in through the nose for 5 quick counts, out through the mouth for 5 quick counts. This is somewhat similar to the 100s in that we're generating some resistance here with those arms, and our abs are going to be forced to stabilize against that movement. Keeping the shape of your body the same, just the arms will lift and lower, lift and lower. You'll notice that as your arms lift, this gets a little bit more challenging for those abdominals. Hang in there. And keeping those arms lifted up to the ceiling, pulse the body up and down just a few inches. Every time you're leaning back, that's when we're going to exhale. Staying in that C curve, arms lower and lift, down and up. And keeping those arms lifted, pulse the body again. It's really burning, hang in there. And keeping those arms lifted, roll all the way down to your back with amazing control, 1 vertebrae at a time. Arms stay at the ceiling, legs come to a tabletop position. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, chest lift up, hands down by your sides for the actual Pilates 100s. Pumping the arms firmly, we're breathing in through the nose for 5 quick counts, out through the mouth for 5 quick counts. We're also working in a nice imprinted spine here, so you'll notice that your lower back is totally flat to that mat. Extending those legs out straight on a high diagonal, making sure that your lumbar spine remains imprinted to your mat. If it's not staying flat, please keep your legs higher or come back to tabletop. We've got a last big inhalation in through the nose. Exhales returning to tabletop, hands come behind the head, elbows wide. Tiny chest lifts. Move those ribs slightly closer to those hips as you lift. Staying lifted, just the legs reach out and in. Exhale out. Inhale, tabletop, exhale out, inhale, tabletop. And keeping those legs straight, let's finish the set with 5 chest lifts. 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and hug your knees to your chest and take a quick breath. And re-extend those legs out straight along your mat, flex the feet and arms to the sky. Take an inhale to prepare, exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders, and roll yourself all the way back up. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, roll it down a quarter of the way. We'll stay here. We'll flip those palms into face in towards each other. Open one arm and twist through the spine. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Our goal is going to be to keep our legs completely stationary while our rib cage rotates above our pelvis. Coming back to center. Cross your arms across your chest. Inhale, lean back a little more. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, lean. Exhale, rotate. As we are coming up and rotating that spine, we're not sitting all the way up. We're kind of hanging back in that torture zone where those abs are going to be talking to us the most. If you would like to challenge yourself another step further, you can bring the backs of your hands to your forehead, elbows wide. Deeper in through those obliques. And then one step further, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Inhale, lean, exhale, twist. And let's come back to center, extend the arms forward. Take an inhale, hold it. Exhale, roll it all the way down. Arms coming up to the sky, legs coming up to tabletop. Knees over hips, inhale, prepare. Exhale, hands to shins. From here, double leg stretch. Reach your arms and legs away. Exhale, circle the arms to the shins. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle. So our flat lumbar spine here is still present. If your back is arching, you need to keep your legs higher or come back to tabletop. And taking this into single leg stretch, grab one knee as the other leg reaches out straight and then switch and switch. Knees stop perfectly above those hips each time. Continue moving your legs, bring your hands behind the head, take it into crisscross. Opposite elbow coming towards opposite knee. Good juicy twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees to your chest, breathe. That's tough. All right, let's move it into some bridge work. So we've got 2 flat feet on the ground, about 4 or 5 inches apart. Knees and toes tracking forward and then arms down by your sides. From here, take an exhale slowly. Engage the glutes, roll the hips up into your bridge. Inhale to stay here. Exhale, begin to melt your spine back down to the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time. Little inhale at the bottom to reset. Exhale, imprint the spine. Begin to peel up. Tailbone is the first thing to leave. Inhale to pause at the top, feeling length from the fronts of the thighs. Exhale, roll back down. 1 vertebrae at a time. Your tailbone is the last thing to come down. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale as you roll up. Inhale as you pause. Exhale as you roll it back down. We should be feeling the muscles in our glutes and hamstrings working. Last bridge here, we'll stay lifted. Once here, gently pulse the hips. Small pelvic thrust. Leading with your hips, keeping your core tight, neck relaxed. Without articulating through the spine, simply tap the tailbone down and up. Inhale down, exhale up. Back to those legs should be cooking. Next bridge, stay lifted up. Let's lift the heels up and down. Heels lift, heels lower. Keeping most of your weight situated towards your big and your second toes, so your ankles are not rolling out to the side. And keeping those heels lifted, pulse those hips for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time, lift up a little bit higher and then slowly melt the spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll bring those legs straight up to the ceiling for a little stretch. Chest lift up, grab your calves and flex your feet. Grab one leg as the other leg lowers away and then switch and switch. So those flexed feet are going to give you a nice stretch after all that fun bridge work. Add a little double pulse and then switch, pulse, pulse, and switch. Be nice to your hamstrings, don't force it if you're feeling extra tight after that. Flat lower back as we transition into single leg stretch. Grab one leg as the other leg reaches out and then switch. And switch. Continue with your legs, hands behind the head. Crisscross, opposite elbow coming towards opposite knee. Twist and twist. Pause with one leg in tabletop, the other leg is straight. You're gonna rotate towards your leg in tabletop 5 times. Keep your pelvis equally grounded. And of course, we will switch legs. 5 rotations towards your other knee. Being mindful that your butt stays equally grounded. Last time, then take it back into alternating. Finish strong, you got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees to your chest. We made it. Nice job, you guys. All right, from here, let's go ahead and flip over onto our bellies. We'll separate the feet about as wide as our mat and move your hands so that they're slightly in front of your shoulders. Taking an inhale, press into your hands, lift up your chest, extending your spine. Exhale to come back down, lowering all the way to the mat. Now, the most important thing as we lift up is that we do keep our pubic bone connected to the mat so that we're not jarring into our lower back here. So keep your pelvis down. Inhale to lift. Should feel a really nice stretch through your abs after all that fun work we just did. Let's do this one more time. We'll do more later. And an exhale to come back down. Okay, so we're gonna work on strengthening the muscles along our spine. Super important for our posture. So from here, we'll be keeping the legs down the whole time. Hands are gonna hover off the mat as you lift your chest into a slight hover and then come back down. Inhale to lift to a slight hover and exhale to come back down. We want to keep the back of the neck long in line with the spine, which is why we're going to stay looking down. If we're looking forward like this, it's really not great on your neck, so keep your head down once you know what you're doing. On the next one, stay lifted. Extend the arms forward, bend the arms, and then lower back down. So we lift, reach the arms forward, bend the arms, and then lower back down. Lift, reach, bend, lower. 2 more. Lift, reach, bend, lower. Last time. And lower. Good. You can stack your forehead on top of the hands. And from here, engaging the glutes, lift the legs up just slightly off your mat and then lower them back down. So it's a little lift of those legs and a lowering of those legs. Shoulders and neck stay relaxed. Glutes and hamstrings are what's helping to lift up those legs. You also want to be feeling that you're not like rocking forward in the pelvis, that it's equal. So it's just a pressing down sensation versus a tilting sensation. On your next one, keep your legs lifted, toes are pointed, and let's go into little kicks, feeling those legs leaving your mat with each little flutter kick, finding stillness through your upper back. Your forehead can be down. I'm just keeping mine lifted so you guys can hear me a little better. And let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bend your knees and let your feet kind of fall side to side, releasing your low back for a second. And then we're going to combine everything. So we'll start with breaststroke. Feet are about as wide as your mat again. And we'll incorporate them so that we're going to begin here with our head on our hands, forehead on the hands. We're going to lift up everything like we're hovering above the mat and then put everything back down. So your arms lift, your legs lift, and put it all back down. And again, lift and lower, and lift and lower. On the next one, you're gonna stay lifted, reach the arms forward, bend the arms, and lower back down. Lift, reach, get really long, bring the hands back to the forehead, and then lower down. 2 more, lift, reach, bend, and lower, and 1 more, lift, reach, bend, and lower. Bend those knees, let those feet fall side to side, releasing your spine. Our last advancement is gonna be full swimming. Arms come forward, legs come out behind you, hands and feet are about as wide as your mat. We're gonna lift everything up off the ground into a slight hover and put it all down. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Even pressure through your 2 hip bones and your pubic bone. 2 more. And on the next one, stay lifted and take it into full swimming. Again, we are looking down. This whole series we've been looking down once we've figured out what exercise we're doing, keeping the back of our necks long. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant your palms under your shoulders, press yourself all the way back into a well-deserved child's pose. Sitting your hips to your heels, go ahead and give yourself a little rock side to side. All right, then we're gonna be shifting ourselves up to an all fours position. We've got our shoulders above our wrists and our hips above our knees. Taking an inhale, tilt your tail, lift your sternum for cow. Draw the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, push the ground away, rounding your spine, looking towards your thighs. Again, inhale, tilt your tail, lift your sternum for cow. And an exhale, round your spine, push the ground away for cat. Then we'll lengthen our spine out to a neutral straight position. Extend the right arm and the left leg. Place it all back down, and then we'll switch. Alternate continuously here, making sure that your hand and your knee leave your mat at the exact same time and come back at the exact same time. I like to rotate the arms so that the thumb is facing the ceiling. It usually feels better on your shoulders, so give that a try. And on your next one, let's stay extended. Gently pulse the arm and the leg up and down a few inches, generating your own muscular resistance. Keeping that resistance, round your spine, pull your elbow knee together tight. Inhale, reach it back out long. Exhale, round the spine, push away from the ground. Inhale, lengthen. And one more time, we'll stay extended, reach nice and long, super straight limbs, tight belly to spine, and put it all down. Then we'll switch, other arm and leg lift, thumb to the sky, small pulses. Keeping that resistance, round your spine like you're moving through molasses. Pull your elbows together tight. Inhale, reach it out. Imagining bringing both shoulders with you. Definitely bringing that head with you. 2 more. Last time. Reaching really long, super straight knees, pointed toes, tight core, and put it all down. All right, tuck those toes under, lift those hips up, take downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, so we alternate bending those knees, stretching out through those calves and hamstrings. Feel free to give your head a little shake side to side. And we'll bring our feet together, big toes to touch. Walk your hands forward a little bit further in front of you as you shift into a high plank position. We've got our shoulders directly above our wrist. We've got our heels directly above our toes. From this position, we're going to begin to rock forward and backwards from our shoulders and from our ankles. So the shape of our body isn't really changing, it's just shifting. Staying shifted forward with your elbows hugging your ribs like you're one solid piece, lower all the way down to your mat. Once down there, separate your feet about as wide as your mat. Scooch those hands forward in front of you so they're a little bit in front of the shoulders. Inhale to press into the hands, lift the chest. Exhale, lower the body back down. Pull the hands back underneath your shoulders. Glue the legs together. You can either tuck the toes and press up into a high plank from here. The modification, you would bend your knees and press up into a plank. Either option is fine. Once here, we are all going to meet in a full plank, shoulders above the wrists, and then lift those hips up into a downward facing dog. So that was one little set that we've done. We're gonna cycle through that 3 more times. So the first round, I'll show that modification on the knees. Taking our inhale with our feet together, shift forward, high plank. Modify onto the knees, lower all the way down to the mat. Separate the feet, scooch the hands forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Pull the hands back, connect the legs, bend the knees, press it up, tuck the toes, and take it into down dog. Second round, showing the advancement, shift forward, high plank. Elbows hug the ribs, lower down. Separate the feet, move those hands. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Feet together, shoulders, hands under shoulders, press up, high plank, and downward facing dog. Last time here, inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower down, slow. Separate the feet. Hands come forward as you lift for swan. Exhale, down. Glue the legs together, tuck the toes, high plank. Hold it here. Hopefully that got your heart rate up. From here, we take our right knee, pull it towards the left elbow, press it back out. Switch, opposite knee towards opposite elbow. Our goal for this exercise is to stabilize our upper body and only move the legs. Easy elbows, make sure they're not hyperextending. And let's start to draw the same knee towards the same elbow. So right to right, left to left. Still holding our torso stationary, just moving those legs. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place the knees down. Brief child's pose, bring your hips to your heels, rest. Made it. All right, shifting up into a modified plank on those knees. Feet will lift. You can definitely do this up on your feet if you prefer, but let's go for somewhere between 5 and 10 tricep push-ups. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Elbows hugging those ribs. Belly stays tight, tush stays tight. When you finish, however many you're doing, press it back into a child's pose, hips to heels. All right, and we'll go ahead and come up onto our knees. You can turn sideways, and we'll do our little sideways series next. So we will take our right leg, kick that right leg off to the side. Left hand comes on the mat in line with your left knee, and then hand to hip. From here, we lift up our leg. Flexing the foot, gently pulse your leg up and down a few inches, generating some resistance here. So as if you had like an ankle weight on, maybe you have one of those lying around at home, you could always grab some. Draw a tiny circle with that lifted leg, trying not to let anything else move. So if you'll notice, we've done a lot of exercises where we're working to stabilize one part of the body and mobilize another part. Reverse it. That's why Pilates is so hard. Hang in there. You should be feeling your glutes working. Keeping your legs straight, lower it to the mat, then come back up to hip height. We'll tap, lift, tap, lift. And keeping your leg lifted, bend your knee in and out. Bringing that knee up in front of you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place your foot down, go ahead and stand up tall onto your bottom knee and bring your hands behind your head, elbows wide. From here, we're gonna take an inhale, you're gonna bend over towards your right, exhale to return. Inhale to bend over towards your right, exhale to return. Little side stretch, good. And one more. Now we're gonna be bending in the opposite direction, so to your left. Not quite as much fun. It's a little bit more advanced, a little more work. Inhale, bend, exhale, rise. So we should be feeling that our right oblique is pulling us back to a nice upright position. If this arm position is too advanced, please feel free to bring the backs of your hands to your forehead or even to your hips. We'll make this a little easier. 2 more. Last 10. All right, good. Taking it into a side plank, you're gonna place your left hand onto the mat. Then you're gonna be moving your foot that was on the ground forward. And then we come up into a side plank with our feet staggered. So we should have our right foot to the front, left foot to the back. From here, we're gonna lower and lift the pelvis, just down and up a few inches. Feeling this through the obliques, but also maintaining really good shoulder stability through that bottom arm. And keeping the pelvis lifted. Option to take your front leg, hover it over the bottom leg, and pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Replace the foot, lift up a little bit higher, and then carefully dismount from there. Shake it out. Nice work, you guys. Let's do the other side. Whew, getting warm. Let's go ahead and bend sideways. You should have your right hand on the floor in line with that right knee. Hand to hip, leg lifts. Flexed foot, nice and straight, little pulses. Buns of steel, strengthening those glutes. All the way down to the mat, then all the way back up to hip height. Down and up. And keeping that leg lifted. We've got little circles, about the size of maybe a volleyball. Stable torso. Reverse it. Good neck alignment. Head is tilted in line with the spine. And then that last little bit, bend the knee in and out. Bring your knee up in front of you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Replace the foot and carefully stand up onto your bottom knee. Hands behind the head is the most advanced. Hands to forehead is intermediate. And then hands to hips will be beginner. Wherever you're at today is fine. Let's do a couple side bends towards that leg as a little stretch. And then rise it back up. Again, bend towards the leg and rise it up. And one more, and rise it up. Good, now we'll be bending away. So inhale to the right, exhale to upright. Inhale, bend, exhale, upright. Keeping the pelvis anchored in space. And feeling that left oblique really pulling you back to that upright position. Let's go for 3, and 2, and 1. All right, into our side plank. Right hand on the floor. it's gonna be left foot to the front of the mat, right foot to the back of the mat. So your feet are staggered, heel to toe, top arms reaching up to the sky. Soft elbow, lower and lift those hips. So the movement is really coming from the scapula, that bottom shoulder. You guys are doing great, we're almost done. Keep the pelvis lifted, take that top leg, hover it over that bottom leg and hold, and pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Replace it, lift a little bit higher, and then carefully dismount from there. Take your wrists, let's fold them in the opposite direction. Whew. Then you can take your wrists like so, and switch. All right, now let's do our stretches. So coming onto your knees, let's have our right knee come up onto the mat here, hands to hips. All we're gonna do is take the tailbone and think of scooping the tailbone underneath you like a sad dog with its tail between its legs. So you get that nice stretch to that left hip flexor. So again, all we do is take the tailbone, slightly scoop it under. It's very subtle. But because our hip flexor is attached into our lower back, all we need to do is really imprint that spine in space and you'll feel it. Keeping that same stretch, reach your left arm to the sky and bend ever so slightly to the right. And coming back up, straighten out the right leg, coming onto your heel, flex your toes to the sky, lean forward for a hamstring stretch. Make sure your weight didn't shift backwards, you're still staying right on top of that left knee. If you have sensitive knees, double your mat over so that you have a little extra cushioning for your knee. And we'll take that right leg, we'll bring it across the line of the body to the left, just by several inches. So my right heel is in front of my left knee. Then I'm gonna internally rotate my right foot, so I'm pigeon-toed. And then what you're gonna need to do is readjust those hips. So ever so slightly, pull your left hip joint forward. Yeah, because the tendency is to let our pelvis open up here, really keep those hips squared. You should feel it all along the outside of that right calf, but also still through that right hamstring. Okay, let's switch legs. Left knee comes up front, stand up, taking a knee, hands to hips, take your tail, scoop your tailbone underneath you, think sad dog with its tail between its legs, feeling a long stretch from that right hip flexor all the way down to that right knee. And the more you scoop under, the more you'll feel it. And then we'll extend our right arm up and we'll bend slightly to the left. And coming back up, straighten out through your left leg, coming onto your heel, lean forward for your hamstring stretch. And taking that your left leg across to the right. My left heel is in front of my right knee, but I'm gonna use my hand to kind of pigeon toe it, so I'm internally rotated. But notice my hips have opened up towards you guys, so I need to re-square them off. Pull that right hip joint forward so my pelvis is more square to the top of my mat. Again, that pretty gnarly stretch all along the muscles along the outside of your leg, muscles that make up your IT band. And then we'll return to a regular all fours position. Shoulders above the wrist, hips above the knees. Inhale, tilt your tail, lift your sternum, draw your scapulas out of the ears. Exhale, round the spine, push the ground away, look toward your thighs. One more time, inhale, tilt the tail, lift the sternum, draw the scapulas out of the ears. Exhale, round the spine, push the ground away, cat. Lengthening to neutral so your spine is straight. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, take downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, alternating, bending those knees, stretch out through the calves, stretch out through the hammies. Separate your feet about as wide as your mat. Feel free to pull your hands a little bit closer to you. From here, take your right hand, grab onto the outside of your left calf and pull yourself under for a mid-back twist. Replacing your right hand, take your left hand, grab onto the outside of your right calf and pull yourself under for a mid-back twist. If you're tight, feel free to bend your knees. Replacing your hand, go ahead and gently lower down to your knees. Bring those big toes together, wide knees. Set your hips to your heels and reach your arms really far forward in front of you. Gently rock your hips side to side, giving your spine a little release. Taking a big inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for yourself today. Spending some time on your mental health and your physical health. Begin to slowly walk your hands back towards your knees and roll your spine to an upright position. Shrug those shoulders up to your ears, roll them down your back, keep them there the rest of your day, maybe perhaps the rest of your week. And thank you guys so much for tuning in with me today, following along, and just breathing together and taking some time again just to center ourselves and most importantly, stay healthy. Again, my name is Callie Nelson. It's been so much fun teaching you guys today. I hope to teach you guys in the future, and I'll see you soon. Bye.